We've had this topic on the docket for a while now. I haven't actually got to it, but I'm fascinated to hear your guys' opinion on where you land on this. Myles Garrett is not the betting favorite for Defensive Player of the Year, but was named a first-team All-Pro. He was named PFF's Defensive Player of the Year, and yesterday was also named to the Pro Football Writers Association's All-NFL First Team.
Who is the betting favorite?
It is Pat Surtain right now, followed by
Yes,
TJ
sir.
Watt, and then Myles Garrett is third.
TJ Watt
Is second, and then Myles Garrett is third in the Defensive Player of the Year
I hope
voting.
Aditi listened to me.
My question for you guys, and we could argue with the betting odds. It doesn't really matter. My question, bigger picture. Can a DPOY come from a 3-14 team, or does a team record not matter for an individual accolade?
Nope, can't happen. That's why exactly the same reason why Joe Burrow ain't winning the MVP this year. It just can't happen.
Well, Joe Burrow's team didn't go 3-14, but
he's
didn't
not
make playoffs.
yeah.
But yeah.
I think the defense may be different than offensive MVP. Like,
Yeah, it doesn't say it's not defensive MVP. It is defensive player
of the year. Yeah, I don't think the team's win-loss matter because a guy can have an exceptional year.
Well, then he should win it then.
Yeah, I think he should.
Look at the stats on the screen, Dustin. Would that indicate an exceptional year for Myles Garrett?
He didn't fit. That is
I think that's
that is
pretty good.
incorrect, by the way.
That's straight from ESPN.
No, that's incorrect because
Straight from ESPN.
Troy Hendrickson had more sacks than 14.
Oh, you know what?
That's wrong.
I made this before. You're right. Okay. So
Bad job out of you, Mike. I expect better.
Remember we were going to do the
Take it off
conversation
the
in
screen.
week 18?
Yeah, that's when you did it.
I drug it over. That's
Yeah,
on
yeah.
me. You're right. Sorry. So second in sacks. Everything else there.
Yeah.
Applicable.
It don't never. So
No, because even Aditi was sitting here saying like
the way it's set up,
They
it
don't
don't
do the
work
record
because there's human people involved. First of all, humans take a lot of liberties, right? They'll make a criteria up. We be in our bag, we be in our feelings some days, and then we just do what we want.
Well, but there's no set criteria.
I know, so they
it
just
could be
make it
whatever you
up.
want. Yeah,
They'd be like, all right, well, I don't like what he did this year. He had 3 wins. I can't say that's valuable. If he was so good, he should at least won 5 games. If he wouldn't have won 5 games, I would have gave it to him. It'd be made up. No. But if you don't win these, if your team is not good, you are going to be hard pressed to convince anybody to give you an award because it's a make or miss, win or loss type deal with sports, and we don't respect losers. So no, we can't be defensive player of the year.
I personally, as much as I love and respect Myles Garrett's game, would not vote for him. If I were a voter, the only way I'd vote for a guy on a crappy team is if he was head and shoulders, not even close, better than the rest. And I don't believe he was this year. I
think if you watch him, I think you watch him and you see it, I think he's better than everybody every year.
Here's the thing I would say to that, G. And be fair about it. Are we watching the other guys? Are you watching Trey Hendrickson every game? Are you watching Patrick Surtain every game? We're watching Myles Garrett every game. And I'm not saying Trey Hendrickson should win.
That's a fair
but I'm
assessment.
saying we're not watching these other guys. So
Right.
we're a little biased. But listen, you can make an argument for Myles Garrett every year. But there is something to be said that he played a bunch of games down the stretch with nothing on the line.
Yeah,
You know, and I think that's, to me, it factors in. If Myles Garrett had 22 sacks and he was just like dominating beyond all reasonable doubt, then you could make a case for Myles Garrett every year.
That's what
I personally wouldn't vote for him this year.
if you take the record out, if the record's not a factor, he should win it. That's my personal opinion. Even though I'd love for a secondary player to win it because I'm sick of seeing edges and quarterbacks win big awards. So I want to see PS2 win it. But it's no doubt that Myles Garrett is the one guy that every team, every OC is like, we have to find.
That is true.
And the fact that you know that the game plan is focused around him, and yet he still has an impact on the game like he does. That's ridiculous. Like that. I don't know how that's not the best player on defense.
You know what's so ridiculous to me, and it's sad, is that in my lifetime, I've seen one of the best left tackles of all time in Joe Thomas, and be probably one of the best linemen I've ever seen play, technically wise, not even get to a playoff game. I see Myles Garrett, who you could say is the best defensive player and best defensive end that you've ever seen, skill set. Every year he could be in the defensive player of the year. And this dude won 3 games. Like, that's crazy just how like, I'm not saying that these positions don't count, but if this is proving it right now. Jaden Daniels, right, ain't nobody's MVP. But the dude just showed up. And now they in the NFC Championship game. And Myles Garrett, the greatest pass rusher of my lifetime, has been balling for years since day one, and they won 3 games.
And as great as Myles Garrett is, you would trade him in a second for Jaden Daniels, which, of course, Washington would not do.
I wouldn't trade him.
That's wow. That's
Mike,
tough.
You wouldn't trade him for Jaden Daniels?
This is blasphemy.
You know what? Right now, and right like today.
Today?
Yes.
Of course you would.
Hold on. That's wild.
In the prime.
That is crazy.
Gee, you wouldn't think twice. You would not think twice.
Oh, that's crazy. Hold on. Let me
You would
think.
do it in a heartbeat.
Washington would never do that.
Myles Garrett
Never.
for Jaden Daniels straight up?
Yes. Washington would hang up the phone before you even got out Garrett.
I mean, dude, there's no way you wouldn't make that trade.
But I'm only going on the principle like this. Would you chase C.J. Stroud for Myles Garrett?
Yes.
Yes.
Would I trade Garrett for C.J. Stroud? Yes.
Yeah. They wouldn't.
Yes.
Texans wouldn't.
No chance.
That's wild.
What do you mean it's wild?
If the Browns,
Because you got I'm saying it's wild because
one position has a much greater impact than the other. That's not that wild. You play football your whole life.
I'm like, but I'm sitting here thinking, like, man. I just made the case for it because I just said
I
earlier,
get he's
right?
a Hall of Famer.
Like,
I don't understand that.
Jaden Daniels may never be a Hall of Fame quarterback, but we don't need a Hall of Fame quarterback to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm like, it's to say that, man, I'm trading Myles Garrett, a Hall of Fame pass rusher, for a quarterback that only did it 1 year.
Yeah.
It'd be difficult.
I know, but
it'd be hard. But I could see why somebody would say that, though. I couldn't argue with you.
You think the Browns would have won 3 games if Jaden Daniels was the quarterback and Myles Garrett wasn't on the team? They wouldn't have won 3 games. They would have won more than that. I bet you the Browns would have won at least 9 games this year.
Yeah. Also,
Who wins more games?
You could take Myles Garrett. Just don't clip this and make me sound like an idiot.
You go ahead.
Get it, Earl.
They already did it for me.
Do not do this.
Get it, Earl.
Don't be clipping this.
Clip this, Earl.
You got to talk to the
Don't
upstairs.
clip. Don't clip me on this, dog. Don't
this,
get me.
Earl.
Hey, go ahead and get your
We
money.
about
off.
to go viral.
What you say? Go ahead.
Moving on.
Come on. Nobody's making you look bad. Go ahead.
Gee, who wins more games this year? If you literally just
Now
swap.
let Dustin make his point first.
No,
Go ahead.
I'm just
Come
going
on.
to say this is to make the point. You could take Myles Garrett and put him on the bench this year and put in Joe Flacco, and they would have won double the games.
Put in Joe Flacco as the
quarterback.
At first I thought you were saying as
Yeah, I mean, you could literally swap the two players,
Yes.
and you would win double your games because that's not saying that Joe Flacco is better than Myles Garrett. Obviously not. But the point is that position.
It's the
If you have some
position.
competence at the position, you're going to win games.
I agree with that.
And I think it's not unreasonable that the Browns would have won 9 games with Jaden Daniels this year.
Yeah, maybe more.
Yeah, even if they didn't have Myles Garrett.
And are the Commanders in the NFC title game if they had Myles Garrett and Marcus Mariota?
No
They
chance.
had 3 wins.
No chance.
Damn,
3 wins.
Hey, Cleveland Browns, clip this. If you want to know what you should do in the draft, just go ahead and just rewind this whole segment. You got to find a quarterback because that was facts, and I wouldn't even agree with that until I heard it.
Go ahead.
So, last thoughts, Myles, should 3-14 disqualify you from winning a DPOY?
I don't think it would for me personally, but there's no rule, so some people will vote for him. For me personally, I would not vote for Myles Garrett this year.
If for me personally, could care less about that 3-14 record. He would get the award.
Okay. You guys voting for him?
It would. I would have to, like you said, I would have to look at both the tapes. I would have to look at everybody involved, and then I would have to make a decision. But I do think that it does say something if your team is that poorly. Not to say that it's on Myles Garrett or anything. It's just what human nature is.
Yeah, I would say that I agree with you, Garrett. I don't know. I don't have enough information in front of me to say, like, okay, this guy, boom. Like, I didn't watch Surtain play every game.
Yeah.
Like, I know he's an awesome player. Myles Garrett, we watched him play every week, and he was a dominant player. I would say this much. To answer the question about the record should not dictate the player getting an award in this occasion. So.